just me and my guitar.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Mark back here on Mark's Aquatics. So a little update on the moss tank, because did you remember last time when we cut it all back? I cut it right back down to here, didn't I? And as with the top bit there, I wasn't going to film this. I just started trimming it up, and I thought, well, I might as well let you guys see what's going on, as I said I would with this one. Now the star moss on the side's growing really well, not as well as the fairy moss and the sphagnum moss. That's what I call it, fairy moss. And there's quite a few runners coming off on the star moss, but they're a lot smaller than the other ones were, the original ones that, you know, obviously when it was growing terrestrial like and on the ground. But it seems to be growing well. Like I say, a little bit smaller. We've had a little bit of hair algae come back, but not too much. But the bottom here, and all this side, the sphagnum side, is absolutely flying away, as you can see. Now I have been adding liquid CO2, the stuff there. I've been putting that in every other day, but I've only been putting in 5 ml of that, okay? And I've also been using the JBL Ferropol 24, and that's 1 drop a day. If you're unfamiliar with that stuff, that's what I use in there and in all my tanks with plants. And yeah, the Ferropol 24, it's basically you use with this stuff. Where is it now? Oh, I can't remember now. I think it's 1 drop per 40 litres, something around there. And there's 10 ml in there, so there's a lot in there. Only a little bottle, but there's a lot in there. We're only putting a couple of drops in, or a drop in a day if you've got a small tank. But that's all I've been using to fertilise things. And it seems to be flying away. We've got a little bit of underneath discoloration under here, but not too much. The young shoots are coming from underneath, and it's sort of doubled its thickness now. I can see where I've cut it off. Everything now has grown back like twice. You know, when you cut a branch, it'll grow back, say, 2 buds, and you'll get a double branch, just like you're bonsaiing something, basically. But that's how that works. So what I'm going to try with this time I cut it back, I'm just going to lightly take it back. Not as aggressively as I did last time, just to make sure it's well, not to make sure so much, but just to give it some chop. I don't want to keep it too manicured. I like that wildish look to it now that it's got. So I'll probably just come in with the scissors of an angle like this and chop away into it, just to give it a little bit more shape here and there, but not to keep it like a lawn would be, nice and flush across the bottom, because that's not the sort of look I'm going for. All the little minnows are doing absolutely fantastic. They're doing really well. They can't wait for me to get in there. I put a big light up on this side, one of my set lights up here, shining down on the tank. That's why they're a little bit spooky today, if you're wondering why they're in one place. And obviously the lid's up on the tank as well, so they're a little bit spooked by that extra light coming in from the side. But we won't be keeping them like that for long. I've got a big ram's horn snail down there. He's been in there since this tank's been set up. The tank temperature today in here in the workshop is 12.6 degrees in there. Not bad at all. 12.6 degrees, and that's just a normal temperature, no heater in there or anything. So I'll up the pump started again now. We don't want pumps going while that's happening. That will suck in all that. When I made this tank, I actually put a box timer on it, so it doesn't come with the tank itself, but it's like a little push button timer. It's just a square little box. It's all under the bench at the moment, so I can't show you, but it's just got one central button on it, and if you press it, it's a timer for 5 minutes, a 5-minute timer in there, and it shuts that pump off for 5 minutes while I feed, and also while I'm doing maintenance, because otherwise, because it's a rear filtration system, it tends to suck everything through the grill at the back and clog up the filter, and we don't want that. So it just shuts it off for a given part of time, which is good. So what I'll do now is I'm going to trim all this back, and I'll get back to you when it's done, and I've given it a water change. Okay. Ah, there you go. We're all done now. We've had a nice water change on the moss tank, and we've had a nice little water change in the acrylic shrimp tank that we've been building, and they're all looking nice. We've got a little bit of bits and bobs floating around in the water there, but not to worry too much about that. Very, very healthy still. Weeks on down the line, we've had a couple of trims and it's looking spot on. Just put, like I said before, put that big piece of stone in there now, because the moss is going to grow up and around that to create a little bit more sense of depth, because it is actually bushing out more than you realise it is actually underneath, and we're getting a bit more height in it. But it's looking fabulous so far. Really happy with the way it's turning out. The minnows, like you say, are always buzzing around looking for food. I'll stick a bit of food in there for you. Pinch a bit of food, switch the pump off. And then drop a bit of flake in there like that, and away they go. Tuck it into that. And whatever they don't get, Mr. Ram's Horn snail gets. It's 10 degrees in there at the moment. 10.2. So that's the air temperature, 10.2 degrees, and they are very, very happy, eating away, lovely condition, and all looking nice. Now then, I've been doing a little bit of work over the last few days, unknown to you guys, and if I just go out a bit, pan around a bit, there it is. You can see what I've been creating. Now I've come up with this little design of micro crab / shrimp tank, or very, very small fish, micro sort of rasboras and things tank. I had this lovely big piece of acrylic tube sent to me in my big box of bits, and I just got my pen and paper out, started doing a few little sketches of what I could do, how I could build a filtration system, do something different to what everyone else is. You see a lot of these biohome tanks, which are very, very similar looking to these. Obviously we're just with the round viewing window, or they do the oval window, but they're normally just one big to the floor up over the top window, or you know, you've seen them on there before, you know what I'm talking about. But what I've done here is I've made a completely different stand. I've built a nice little stand which I've incorporated underneath and scribed that in underneath there. But what I've done is, now with these other bulbs and different things, you always get like a fill line, and I don't like to see the fill line on there. I like to see it all full, and with no washing around or movement on the top of the water there. So what I've done is I've actually created this other box section here on the top, scribed that in as well, acrylic glue to it, but I've also added a little bead of black silicone around, all the way around the edge, and we put a nice little funky lid on it, okay, as well, which folds right the way back, as you can see. Now inside, you can see I've cut out a big square there so I can get my hand right in, and I've got fairly big hands, so you can see you can get in there. Here's the return pipe here which goes in. Now the water level is going to come up inside here, up to that level there, so we're not going to get any of that window in there. We're not going to get any of that drop, that water level drop in there, okay? But it's going to be nice and full, and that level line then will be obviously from there level with the top of there going along there. So it's literally going to be an inch either side. Now there's room up there now on the side which you can put a little slimline heater in, or go across with the heater underneath the pipe. I haven't actually got a heater sorted out yet, or one of these very, very narrow ones that you can put in. You don't have to heat it if you've got a normal house. I thought, well, you know, if your temperature in your house is nice, you can keep shrimp anyway, and these little micro crabs very, very, very easily. Now what I've done with this filter system at the back, you may be asking yourselves, where's the filter inside? Why can't I see anything inside? It's just blanked. But if you look right in the back, and you see my phone on the tripod there, probably easier, but you can see there's a pad right in the back. It's very hard to see because it's a reflective background. That's where the water goes through. Now the way I've designed this, I've not seen this done before, but what I've done is I've created the lift tube on the back, the water gets drawn through some very fine sponge on the front, and it goes all through some of this biohome media, which I'm absolutely taken away, blown away with this stuff. It's absolutely amazing, it really is. I'll put the link in the description down there. I think it's Richard from Ponga who sells it, and I'll put the link to his website down below later on. But it goes through this, and then it gets filtered up through that media, through the biohome media, up the tube, along there and back in. And it's an airlift system, so the air comes in the bottom, races up that pipe, thus drawing the water through sponge, through the media and back in, and that gives you your filtration. So that is a pretty funky little design I've come up with there, I think. It's going to work really well. I've tested all this, everything's watertight, everything works well. Haven't put lighting in the back as yet, because what I was thinking of doing was just cutting a small or a round hole in the top of here, and then dropping in one of these little round LED lights in the top there, which will illuminate that brilliantly, because of a night time, with this being opaque acrylic, it's going to actually all glow really nicely like a little light bulb. So it's going to be a little aquarium slash light, and it'd be ideal for like an office or something like that. I think it'd look really, really nice. I've been thinking about making a few of these later on, maybe, if any of you guys wanted to. The way I look at things now is I get paid from you guys watching the videos that I do, and that's what I'd never ask you guys for anything else, you know that. And so what I think, you know, obviously every month I get X amount of money through my views, and the more views I get, the more money I get, the more money I can put into stuff like this, and help you guys out. Now, what I'm going to do with this one is I'm actually going to give this one away to one of you guys, alright? This is my little prototype. All works well. I'll put some lighting in there, I'll get it all rigged up, get everything working as it should. I want to get to 8,000 subscribers, and when I hit 8,000 subscribers, I'll send that to you wherever you are in the world. Alright guys, to all my subscribers, I'll do a random pick again, but like I said in the last video, okay, make sure in the last JBL test kit giveaway, which Anita won, make sure that you comment on this video, okay, about this. Just comment on it, anything, you know, what you think it'd be good for, just a random comment, whether it's, I don't know, whatever, but just make sure you do comment on it. So because the pick a winner thing, basically what it does, it will pick a random comment from this video, okay? So if you just watch the video and you don't comment, you're not going to be in the run to win it. So that's going to be one of yours, the only one of its kind in the world, completely new to the planet, this one. No one else has got one of these in the world, and you'll be the only one with it. They'll probably nick my idea, all these people, but I'm not into all this patenting lark and all that. I'm too old for all that now. I just love to make things, and if I can help you guys out, give this away to you. The more, like I said, the more money I get in, the more giveaways I can do, because I can't afford to just do these things obviously on my own, off my own back, running families and all that kind of stuff. But it's nice, the more views that I get, the more money that I get through my views, the more stuff I can make and give back to you in that way. And that's the way I want to run this channel. And I get people like Richard from Pondrew, who sent me the biohome stuff. He sent me this amazing bag of Biohome Ultra, which is absolutely amazing. If you've got a canister filter for your aquarium, you put some of this in, you're going to get some amazing bacterial, some anaerobic bacteria colonising that, and your nitrate will drop down to literally zero if you're up to speed with all your other stuff in a couple of months time. That's what sent me, as I showed you before. This is the Biohome Gravel, which is absolutely amazing. Obviously it's very small. Now I put that in there. I know people are going to say you take the sponge out and all that's going to fall through. It will at the moment, but what you've got to do is I'm going to put that in a filter bag, so it's retained in a filter bag, and then the sponge pushes across, so you can just take it out. It may slump a little bit when you take it from there, but that is going to be one of the best filtration systems you could ever have on a nano tank once that's colonised with that anaerobic bacteria, which will grow deep inside that media and eat away at that nitrate in your aquarium, which so many filtration systems don't do. They, you know, the nitrate, the ammonia, they deal with all those things, but when it comes to the nitrate, they don't deal with that so well. And but this stuff, once it's colonised, is absolutely amazing. It really is. I've got it running on the other filters in the other one. I've got it running in this one here. As you saw me put it in before, that's all that's in there is some of that media with the sponge underneath with the filter floss. and that is picking up speed brilliantly. Like I said, we've got a little bit of algae issue in there at the moment, but we get that every time with a new tank syndrome. You're always going to get something, bit of a nutrient boost, but it will level itself out in time. But like I said, I'll stick Richard's, if you're interested in buying this stuff, I'll put the thing in, okay? I would recommend it because it's not expensive, to be honest, for what you get from it. There's a lot of work and a lot of effort and time's gone into researching on this stuff. And that's the least I could do for him, for sending me some of this stuff, is give him a shout out, and it's well worth it. He's been good as gold to me and my channel so far, sending me little pumps, another load of stuff before, filter floss, all the Indian almond leaves. He's a really good lad, and he's looked after this channel well, you know, and I really do appreciate him for that. So this is the least I could do, to give him a shout out on his channel. And he sells this stuff, so if you want some of that, I'll put the link to his website on there. I think it's filterpro.uk, but I will make sure it's properly, and I'll fit it in there somewhere at the bottom, so you can hook him up, and he'll hook you up with some of the stuff for your canister filter. If you've got a pre-existing canister filter and you haven't got any of this stuff in it, just go and get some. You can just swap out some of the other media that you've got. I'm sure he's got a video on actually loading a filter with this stuff, which he did not so long back. Pop back and have a look at that if you're unsure. And but you can put some of this stuff in your media. If you're suffering with nitrate issues, fire some in there, guys. It really will sort your stuff out, no end. As with the biogravel, and also he does a range of the shower media as well, to go in the backy showers. That's, you know, the 3-tiered showers which is like showers go through. Basically what I've made in here, but a bigger version for ponds. He makes that as well, and he has sent me 25 kilos of that stuff, bless him, as well, which he had another run of, and we'll do a video on that as well, because I'm going to be building a backy shower filter for the pond, which is down there. As you can see, the koi's are still quite lively. All my mess everywhere, I've been building things and haven't tidied up over the Christmas period. And my little funky downlighter there, which is a godsend in this workshop, it really is. You can still see my little koi there poking their heads out. They're still active. It's about 8 degrees in there at the moment, and that moss is flying up the wall over there. I actually put some of that, believe it or not, is Java moss. It's Java moss and some actual normal terrestrial moss from outside, which came in on those stones, and I poked in a bit of Java moss around there, and that's that big chunk there. The lighter green moss you can see, believe it or not, is actually Java moss, growing very, very healthy from the splashing coming up from that waterfall. So that's doing really well. But I'm not going to put any of that in my little tank, because that is just going to be all, it's all going to be that's all normal terrestrial moss in that tank. Anyway, I think I've waffled on for quite some time now, so just remember, guys, this little tank's going to go out to one of you guys, and all you've got to do, watch the video, comment. If you want, you can always subscribe to the channel as well. If you haven't already, that would be absolutely fantastic. 8,000 subs, that's going to be we're going to pick a winner and send that one out. Anyway, guys, as always, you're all stars. Hope you've had a lovely Christmas. Looking forward to the New Year's Eve parties and everything, and I'll catch you guys on the next edition of Mark's Aquatics. Be safe, take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.
Just me and my guitar.